Welcome to Western Peace Unlocked. This is our summer reading book club. Book is The Stranger Upstairs by Lisa M. Matlin. And we read the dedication, we read the book jacket, and we read up to the middle. Let's see if it's the middle of chapter 1. Yeah, we read to the middle of chapter 1. And then the dog needed to go out. He's 11 years old, and he's been my service dog for 9 years. So it's very important that when he needs something that I take care of him now, because he took care of me. So I apologize for stopping it early, but it was for a good cause. So far, this lady moved into a house where there was a killing. And at the beginning of the book, we were told that the killing was done by the husband of the family that lived in the house. And the husband went and killed his wife and then chased his daughter out of the house and then killed himself. But as we read into this, the lady bought the house and she's moving in. We find out that the woman was actually a stalker, and it seems she was living in the attic because they found some stuff up there. So it seems like this lady was actually the murderer, and we're gonna find out more. I have a little bit of a TBI, not really a little bit, but I have a TBI, so I don't remember every single little detail, but that gets us pretty much up to speed. And we're gonna read a little bit that we have already and just keep on continuing to the end of the chapter. So he just put the bed upstairs for her, and they're looking at the blood stain. They said maybe it's Maybelline or maybe it's murder. We'll need to replace these floorboards. He steps back, grimacing. For now, just buy a rug to cover it with. I nearly snort my laughter. That's him. Let's throw a rug over the issue. If you can't see it, then maybe all that ugliness isn't even there. Maybe it's why he can't stand looking at me. I follow him toward the door, thinking of the moving truck waiting outside, jammed full of our 5-year life together. We've spent nearly everything buying this house, and the renovations will have to be spread out over the next year. And even though we've lived in Melbourne for 2 years, we don't exactly have any close friends we can stay with while we renovate. Well, maybe Joe does, but I certainly don't. The fact that he was willing to make this move with me meant a lot. He's still here, still willing to invest in this house, and more importantly, us. I haven't lost him yet. I passed by the only window in the room, about the size of my laptop screen. It's a fixed window, so there's no way to open it unless I smash my fist through it, and I'm sure I'll be tempted after breathing in this stale air every night. I stop and squint through the grime, looking out to my backyard, and the first thing I see are the graves. They're draped in ivy, stained sickly green, and covered with little scabs of moss and mold. Susan, Bill, twin headstones for the former owners of Blackwood House. I don't know who thought it would be a good idea to bury Susan Campbell next to her husband, her killer, but there they are, out my bedroom window, side by side for eternity. I asked the realtor about it, but he didn't know who buried them. You know what? I think I got 2 stories mixed up, so let's disregard my recap, because I think I added some stuff in there from a different story, but we'll just move on. I don't know who thought it would be a good idea to bury Susan Campbell next to her husband, her killer, but there they are, out my bedroom window, side by side for eternity. I asked the realtor about it, but he didn't know who buried them. No one knows what happened to poor Janet Campbell after she fled the town. She could be dead. All she is now is a piece of folklore, a ghost story before she even died, poor girl. Are you sure you want this room? Joe asks. What about the others? He nods in the direction of the hallway where 3 other garage-sized bedrooms lie dormant. I shake my head and move to brush past him. He stopped kissing me this year, but he still lets me hug him sometimes. I have to time those coveted hugs correctly, or he'll rear back like a pissed-off horse. A year ago, I would have tackled him to the bed, or maybe I would have just thrown my arms around his neck, looked at him in the face, and said, "I'm so proud of us, Joe. Look how far we've come." Now I slink sadly past him, a goddamn ghost of a wife. I pad down the staircase, spiraling back a black masterpiece that made me gasp the first time I saw it, and made Joe wince and murmur. Bloody hell, what a nightmare. It's wrought iron, cool to the touch, and every time I descend, I feel like a Disney villain. I adore it. Joe calls down, "Don't you want a bedroom a bit less, I don't know, murdery?" I reach the second to last step, breathing through my mouth. The house has been shut up for decades, and it smells like a sweaty sheet. I'm good, thanks. I don't know how to tell him the truth because it's strange even to me. I didn't choose that room. It chose me, just like the house. I pull open the front door, grunting from the weight of it. It's heavy oak, and once we get some linseed oil into it, it'll look like a flame-red candle in the dark. My flat-faced cat Reaper bolts out before I can stop him. He screamed the whole 40-minute car ride here, while Joe turned up the radio and yelled, "Do we have to bring him with us?" I ignored them both. Joe's been trying to get rid of a Reaper ever since I stubbornly brought him home 5 years ago. I wandered around an adoption center, staring at wire cages and reading cutesy taglines. Meet Lenny, a quiet and sweet cat. Jack is the loveliest boy. I stopped in front of the last cage, and the tagline simply read, "Free." Underneath that, in apologetic text, it said, "This cat doesn't like kids, dogs, loud noise, being picked up, and he's been known to get into fights with other cats. He's very possessive of his blanket and his food." I smiled and peered through the cage bars, and there he was, a silver-haired Angora cat, wrapped in a filthy blanket, staring at me with angry blue eyes. I loved him instantly. I step onto the porch and watch Reaper climb the blackwood tree in our yard. He's 6 now and still hates everything with an inexhaustible passion. I really admire him for that. My boy. I wrap my arms around myself, cold in the morning sun. You can't even see the road from here. It's quiet now except for a lone cockatoo chattering in the tree. Reaper glares at the cockatoo murderously, but makes no attempt to climb higher up in the deeply fissured bark. I reach into my pocket for my phone and snap a picture of Reaper and the bird nestled in the bony branches. I quickly type in a caption. "Moving day at Blackwood House. These gorgeous guys approve. Head to my website for all the renovation updates. Hashtag Blackwood House. Hashtag Cockatoo. Hashtag Melbourne. Hashtag Reaper. Hashtag Murder House." I hesitate, wondering if I should use that last hashtag. It's a bit much, I suppose, but it would definitely drive in some much-needed traffic and maybe a sponsor or two. There's already interest in my website again now that I've promised to document the renovations. I hit the post button and automatically scroll through my feed, full of painful-looking yoga poses, watermelon salads, and a tutorial on how to fake a lip job with 1 million likes. My thumb hovers over the screen, and I surprise myself by clicking off my phone and tucking it into my pocket. There's something incongruous about standing on this 100-year-old porch and scrolling through the atrocities of social media. It doesn't feel right. It's like the house disapproves, like it wants me back inside cutting apple slices and smiling adoringly at my shiny-haired children. Or maybe it wants me asleep in my bed so my husband can murder me. Finally, I step off the porch, head to the truck, and busy myself with the moving boxes. We have a surprising amount of crap, and most of it's mine. I have a shopping problem, and a bit of an alcohol issue, and everything else. Doesn't take a therapist to realize I'm filling up the voids in my life with a whole lot of shit. For the next few hours, my husband and I work together, unloading and unpacking. Reaper sneaks inside the house as soon as we unload the couch and spends the rest of the afternoon propped on a cushion, watching us lug the rest of our furniture in. When the truck is empty, I pull out a six-pack from under the driver's seat. I really shouldn't be drinking on antidepressants, but there are a lot of things I shouldn't be doing. Last week, I went up to a double dose, but Joe doesn't know this. There's lots of things he doesn't know. He doesn't even care to. He thanks me, reaches for the beer, and we walk in ear-splitting silence to our front porch as I chug mine. My doctor's voice rings in my head. He was scribbling out my prescription, raising an eyebrow. You know not to mix these with alcohol, right? Of course, I scoffed. Tentatively, Joe taps his beer against mine with a reserved little clink. Well, he begins awkwardly, looking into our gloomy front yard. We did it. Yes, I say firmly, we certainly did. Silence. We're not used to communicating anymore. If we could still speak, what would we say? Perhaps I would finally admit the truth. Buying this house wasn't just about building my brand and making a huge profit. I thought that renovating this house might help prepare us too. I saw us working side by side, painting walls in amiable silence, or sharing a beer as we pored over color charts. After a while, Joe strolls off the creaking porch and disappears inside. I watch him go, wondering if I'm allowed to follow. I lean over the porch railing instead, all bone dry and bleached from the sun. A bloated magpie lands with a squawk to my right, peering at me with dull red eyes. He tilts his head, waiting for food. I narrow my eyes at him. Nobody's occupied this house for 40 years. Who's been feeding him? Sorry, mate, I got nothing for ya, I tell him. I step off the porch and head inside. The magpie watches, still and disapproving. I'm close enough to touch him, and he doesn't even flinch. The neighbors must feed him. Reaper perches on the back of the couch, watching Joe fiddle with the cords of his Xbox. It's the first thing he's insisted on before he agreed to move in. Get the electricity and Wi-Fi going for the bloody Xbox. It's delayed our move-in day for 2 weeks, but hell, at least he's here. He switches the TV on, and a gigantic piece of modern technology clashes violently with the Brady Bunch kitchen and linoleum floor. The last time anyone lived here was the early 80s. It's been frozen in time ever since. All our sleek contemporary furniture is laughably out of place, and even Joe notices. He smiles a bit guiltily. I suppose the house has never seen an Xbox before. I take a sip and swallow it down. Shit, do they even have TV then? Joe reaches for the remote, adjusts the volume, and frowns. Yeah, but only a few channels, I think. Maybe that's why he killed her. He snaps his eyes shut like he can't believe I just said that, but his shoulders shake with guilty laughter. My heart glows. I haven't made him laugh in such a long time. I study him quietly, looking at him properly for the first time in ages. My husband's handsome in a bland way. Average height, slim build, too slim, I think. I always have to remind him to eat, and if I don't cook for him, he either makes 2-minute noodles or simply goes hungry. He has a phobia of flying, large crowds, talking on the phone, and any TV show with a laugh track. I suspect he has a generalized anxiety disorder, but he'll never get diagnosed because the idea of picking up the phone and making an appointment terrifies him, which is why I make all the phone calls, which is why he needs someone like me. I get shit done while he wrings his pale hands and panics. His eyes are watery blue, and his hair is thick and shiny black. We dyed it in a truck stop bathroom when we fled Queensland, and we re-dye it every 6 weeks to cover up the roots. He's fair-haired naturally, with pale lashes that blinked a lot, and hair that's so blonde it was almost silver. Black hair is too heavy for him. Everything is too heavy for him these days. People wonder why we're together. Joe, the nervy bartender, and me, the Instagram whore. But the truth is that underneath all Joe's beauty, he's every bit as ugly as me. I love him for that. Trust me, my husband is not perfect. He has more secrets to hide than I do. I drain the last drops of my beer, and Joe surprises me by asking, "Do you think the house wants us here?" The house? Yeah, he says, half joking, half serious, gripping the controller like it will give him strength. I don't think it likes us. This house is going to make us a fortune, I tell him gently before adding, 1.3 million, Joe. That's the median house price in Beacon, up 35% annually. I can never say that last part without hugging myself gleefully. Up to 35% annually. I've done the figures an unhealthy number of times. Once these renovations are done, I'm looking at a profit of at least $600,000. We are, Joe and I. Someone had to have the guts to do it, I said resolutely, and we did. Wasn't that what Rodney Pink, the real estate agent, and when all the formalities were over and we were signing... Oh, wasn't that what Rodney Peak, the real estate agent, said when all the formalities were over and we were signing the deed? It takes a certain kind of someone to buy a murder house, he said grimly, sliding it over like he was disappointed in us. Joe paused for a fraction before scribbling his name on the paper. Not really my idea, he mumbled. It might not have been his idea, but he's certainly keen as hell on raking in the profits. Like I said, my husband's ugly too, only nobody knows that but me. The realtor eyed me disapprovingly. I don't know why I smiled, but I did. I signed the deed with 2 jaunty S's and a big looping I. I suppose you won't be coming over for a cup of tea then? I asked, handing it back to him. Quickly he signed his own name, and I noticed how he never quite touched the paper. The way he was acting, you'd think it was soaked in urine or blood. No, he said curtly. I don't think I could. I say goodnight to my husband. He looks so lost sitting there on our couch that I can't help myself. I bend down, kiss him softly on the lips, and he actually lets me. God, I miss this. But I don't push it further. Not yet. I reluctantly pull back my head for my room. Pull back and head for my room. I hear Reaper jumping from the couch to follow me, and Joe calls out softly, "Good night." I smile up at the creaky stairs, thinking about the kiss and the realtor's words. You're damn right it takes a certain kind of person to buy a murder house. You have to be familiar with the very ugly side of human nature. And who better than a therapist? Haven't I heard it all? Haven't I encouraged, even prompted, my clients to talk about the big bad things? Most people sweep monsters under the bed. I pull the covers back, and let them crawl in. Chapter 1 is done. Chapter 2 is next. Like the video, share the video, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I'll see y'all in the next one. Locked out.